Welcome, people. So today we're gonna make a layered cheesecake. So I already have the graham cracker crumbs and the butter and the sugar and the cinnamon in the bowl. I'm gonna blend that up in a second, and then I'm going to mix the cheesecake batter. I'm going to fill it with what do you call it? I'm going to fill it with the May of colors. I'm feeling red, green, and gold today because I have some raspberries, I have strawberries, I have kiwi, and I also have peaches. So I'm going to make a curd with each of those, and then I'm going to layer each cheesecake in between layers of fruit, red, green, and gold. Cha Rastafari. I. All right, so here we have our graham cracker crumbs, melted butter, sugar, and cinnamon. Now we're just gonna mix the combine because this will be the base of this will be the crust of the cheesecake. I don't bake cheesecakes very often, so now that I'm remembering, what I should have done is I should have added the cinnamon when I was blending the graham cracker crumbs. I just blended it up in a cheap chopper here. I like to use a small chopper instead of my big blender for things like this. Yeah, so I should have put the cinnamon this way. The cinnamon would be distributed evenly throughout the crust, but hindsight is 2020. So important thing to do is to make sure you line the pans with parchment paper so you can unmold the cheesecakes when you're ready. This is not a traditional cheesecake pan, which is a springform pan, so this is recommended because you can't open the sides and release the cheesecake. So I'm just lining each one. So I just draw a circle, and then I'm just gonna cut on the inside of the circle because I don't want that lead touching my food, the lead from the pencil. So here I have my pan, which is lined with parchment paper. Then I'm going to put this in the bottom of the pan, and then let's press it on the bottom. I think this is sufficiently pressed in, and we have a somewhat uniform and even height crust. So I lied. Now we gotta bake the crust for 10 minutes, let it set, and while that's happening I will mix up the cheesecake. So I'm just gonna mix up the cream cheese just to soften it. So now I have this cream cheese softened and blended. So I've added the lemon zest, and I'm gonna add the sugar, and then I'm going to blend and scrape down and blend and scrape down a couple times. So now the sugar is combined, there's no lumps that I can see, so I'm gonna add the sour cream. I'm adding the eggs now. I just added half, and I'm mixing it all in, make sure it's fully combined. Then I'm gonna add the rest and mix until that's fully combined as well. Now the last thing we're gonna add is the vanilla and the lemon juice. And we're done mixing, I think. Yes, all my ingredients are gone. So I'm gonna pour 2 cups of batter into this one, and let's pray that that's enough. Okay. Layer number 1, layer number 2, layer number 3, which is the bottom layer, which really should be layer number 1, and layer number 4. Now, as you notice, I have this one wrapped in foil because I'm using an actual spring form pan for cheesecakes, which means you can release the side and it's a removable bottom. So I wrapped it in foil because we're going to bake these in a water bath. So I'm going to pour a little water in the bottom of each pan. So I don't want water to seep through the seam of the bottomless part of it. So we should put about an inch of water. I'm going to put what I can in each one since I don't have an actual cake pan. I'm baking it in an old cookie sheet. Normally you should pour the water when it gets in the oven, but I'm just going to show you how much water I'm going to put in this one. So this helps to promote even baking, so it's almost like steaming a cheesecake. So I'm back again. So I'm just showing you how to make the curd. That's the filling for the cheesecake. This one is going to be a raspberry curd. So in the pot, I have the sugar and the egg yolks, and I'm just whisking them together to get them all combined. And then once I have this combined, I'm going to add the lemon juice and the fruit juice and a pinch of salt and put some heat under the bottom of this pot and wait for the egg yolks to do its thing, thicken up this curd, and then I'm gonna add the butter and a little gelatin to get it, to make sure I get it thick. You don't have to do the gelatin, but I'm choosing to do it. I'm going to add the lemon juice here. I'm just pouring it in here, and that's 1 tablespoon. So I'm adding lemon juice, a pinch of salt. Salt is our flavor enhancer here. And then I'm going to add my raspberry puree. I'm going with the actual puree and not just the juice from the fruit. So now I'm going to add heat to this, and I'm going to continue whisking until this almost boils and it coats the back of a wooden spoon. So this white foam on the surface is part of the process, and we want to wait for this foam to dissipate and then get a somewhat translucent liquid, well, not quite liquid, but translucent mixture of the fruit and the eggs and sugar. Okay, so this, we're gonna keep cooking this. They said medium high flame, so we're just gonna keep stirring, and I'm stirring in a figure 8 to make sure I'm catching all parts of the pot, to make sure nothing goes unturned. No stone goes unturned here. As you can see here, the foam is gone. The foam that was there before, it's gone now. So now we have little bubbles, and this is time. This tells us now it's time to turn this off, because we don't want it to boil, because we don't want to scramble the eggs. So I'm venturing on dangerous territory now. So I have my butter and my gelatin in a strainer over a bowl, because I'm just going to pour the hot liquid over it, strain the liquid, melt the gelatin and the butter all in one full scoop. So we just pour it over here. I had blew my gelatin before. Just follow the instructions on the packet. Dissolve the gluten in, the gelatin. Dissolve the gelatin in cold water, and then it's gonna form jello-like, and then you gotta just heat it up. Curd. So here we have raspberry curd. So I'm straining this so I will get most of the seeds left behind. I don't like the seeds. They're not very friendly. Okay, I'm just softening the butter. Now it's time to add the cream cheese. from the beaters to the whisk. Because now we want to get light and fluffy. Always important to scrape down your bowl between additions of ingredients, and also after mixing for a minute or so. It's always good. Gives your mixer a break and make sure everything is in there. After I finish mixing, I'm gonna put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to just firm up some more before I pipe it. So this is a peach curd. You notice I'm not putting it all the way to the edges because I don't want it to ooze out. So then I'm going to dam it with some cream cheese icing. Then layer number 2. This is a raspberry curd. Lesson learned. Don't make the base layer so thick. And divide the batter equally. And don't put the graham cracker crumbs up the sides of the pan, because the bottom layer is supposed to be thin enough that you don't need graham cracker crumbs up the side. I did include some of the fruit pieces in here, so it looks like kiwi, but not too much. Hopefully not too much to annoy you. So I had some extra graham cracker crumbs left over for when I did the base, and I decided to put them along the side. Now that the cream cheese is soft, I can work with it. So I'm basically just taking it and running my hands along the side. So the final product.